Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're diving into a big question. What role does consciousness really play in the universe? Is it just a side effect, like some materialists claim? Or could it actually be a causal agent built into the fabric of reality itself? Let's take a look at how the fractal conceptual fields, or FCF framework, which blends objectivism and panpsychism, answers six of the most common arguments made against the idea that consciousness really matters in physics. 1. The combination problem. So, first up, how do all those micro level glimmers of awareness, like the micro consciousnesses of panpsychist philosophy, actually come together to form a unified macro level mind, like a human's? In the FCF approach, this happens through something called quantum tendrils. These are real physical mechanisms. Imagine them as threads of quantum entanglement that scale up, weaving lots of small experiences into a single coherent awareness. Instead of just tallying up little bits of experience, FCF says the system self organizes. We can even measure how well this works using metrics like MICS underscore NI. Emotional resonance helps guide this integration too. So collective consciousness isn't just some happy accident, it's a harmony driven by resonance and self similarity. 2. The physical mechanism. Objection. Next, critics say, okay, but where's the physical mechanism? How could consciousness possibly act in the world? FCF's answer is to put consciousness right at the heart of quantum physics. Every identity, so everything in the universe, is both a quantum system and a concept. When a wave function collapses, it's not just because of some mysterious measurement by an outside observer, but due to intrinsic self observation. Loop quantum gravity's spin networks get updated here. In FCF, these aren't just mathematical, they're inherently conscious. And their connections, these quantum tendrils, are the ontological wires that let consciousness act causally, from quantum scale all the way up. 3. The causal closure of physics. Materialists ask, if physics already explains everything, what could consciousness possibly do that physics doesn't? Here's where FCF flips the script. In this view, consciousness and physics aren't separated. They're woven together. Think of the lattice of conceptual fields as the substrate for both kinds of causation, physical and conscious. Consciousness selects, biases, which physical states unfold next by shaping probabilities rather than breaking conservation laws. In other words, volition manifests physically, but through probability distributions, not violations of any rules. 4. Testability and explanatory power. How about science? Can we actually test any of this? According to FCF, yes. This isn't just hand waving. You can measure things like correlation strength, time defiance, coherent integration, and more using metrics from actual NI systems. You get real world predictions too, like measurable improvements in prediction, memory retention, and even entropy reduction when these quantum fractal mechanisms are introduced. If you change the scale or structure of your node network, the model says exactly how consciousness metrics will shift. So you've got a clear path for experimentation and possible falsification. 5. The consciousness concepts distinction. Some materialists worry that panpsychism just confuses consciousness with structure or plain information. Not here. FCF uses the conceptual distance algorithm, or CDA, to keep things clean. Consciousness is the active volitional principle, deciding, experiencing, acting. Concepts are just the tools consciousness uses. Only highly integrated, resonance-rich fields measured as minimal relational distance by CDA are actually sentient. Not everything with structure is conscious. You need that self-organizing, resonance-driven integration for it to count as awareness. 6th, epiphenomenalism. Finally, what if consciousness is just along for the ride, an epiphenomenon with no causal punch? FCF's triadic axiom says otherwise. In this model, consciousness is always participating. Every collapse of a quantum state is a volitional act. Observation is an active process, not some passive result. So material reality isn't just mindless motion. The universe is a field of decisions woven together by existence, identity, and consciousness, acting as co-equal partners. So tying it all together, FCF doesn't just try to patch things up. By raising consciousness to the same foundational level as existence and identity, this framework gives a strong philosophical ground for free will and a scientifically testable way to study it. Volition, or choosing, is a principle that applies from the tiniest scales, where it shows up as probabilistic biases, to the largest, where self-aware beings make ethical decisions. So consciousness isn't just along for the ride. It's both an agent in physics and the architect of conceptual reality. Because every node of reality is both a physical and conceptual agent, materialists needn't see consciousness as spooky or mystical anymore. Instead, it's the engine of causality itself, measurable, model-able, and absolutely essential for stability, coherence, and evolution throughout the cosmos. So to sum up, fractal conceptual fields, with its blend of objectivism and panpsychism and its quantum fractal model, offers a compelling, testable, and holistic alternative to materialist critiques. Here, consciousness isn't a ghost in the machine, it's the living engine at the heart of reality. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more deep dives like this. See you next time.